Welcome back. You're watching Today. Now, South Africa's youth is in dire need of employment. Unemployment among young people is at a staggering all-time high of above 60%. It's a crisis that threatens to deepen instability in society and raises important questions. What should be done to tackle this youth unemployment challenge or crisis? And how can we change the mindset of frustrated young people who are facing a bleak future? Let's unpack this with Mpho Mohapi, who joins us in studio this afternoon. And she's a business mindset coach. Thank you for joining us in studio. And this is a question that has been asked for decades now. How do we deal with the unemployment crisis amongst the youth in South Africa, because it continues to grow and at a worrying rate? How do you even begin to unpack this?
I believe that we need to look at different ways of approaching it.
Yeah.
We are still trapped in the old system where we work towards retirement. We start school, and after school you need to look for a job. When you get a job, you need to work until you retire. That system is no longer working. If it was working, the unemployment rate wouldn't be so high, especially among youth. So what is wrong? What do we need to fix? We need to look at the way we approach things. The old system cannot absorb young people. So we need to look at different ways, like starting a business. But young people don't even know where to start with starting a business. That is why I do what I do, to help them uncover their talents and help them monetize that.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one, because we need to change the way we do the things that we do, but we are raised with certain mindsets, and that goes from one generation to the next. So breaking that generational mindset that has been created is a difficult task. So how do you do that then, to allow someone to think about, okay, I'm great at this, I could start this business, as opposed to being stuck in those bubbles that we've been raised in?
First, you need to get out of that environment, because remember, at home, we are also used to the old system, and you're not going to change and become a new person while you are in the old environment that has been producing the same results that you've been getting in your life. So you get out of that environment. Young people are always indoors. They only get out to go party. They need to go look for opportunities that are out there. There's events that they can attend that young people who are in business are doing. They do markets that, pop-up markets. You can find out what people that are doing stalls are doing out there. You need to find events in and around where you live. I'm not saying take a taxi and go very far, but what I do is I look at what each individual has in terms of their talents. We forgot that we have talents. We were all born with talents, but because of societal, the programming, it makes us shrink how we were designed to function. We were born great, but we were taught to minimize ourselves. We were taught to make room for disappointments. And now we've forgotten our talents, and we follow the system where we only faced with few opportunities. I studied engineering, and if you ask me today why I studied engineering, I can't tell you, because I only had a few options in front of me. So they need to go outside and check out what's out there. But first, they need to remember that they all have talents. And up until you work with someone that can help you uncover that, obviously you can't know what it is that you can do in business. Therefore, that's where the frustration comes from.
So you might have the talent, you might have the benefit of a coach like yourself to uncover those talents, but what about the environment? Does South Africa have a conducive environment to allow people to grow and develop their talents into viable businesses? You mentioned something very important in the beginning of our discussion, is that young people don't have access to the right kind of information to start a business, for example. So the environment is already against those who, even if you have unlocked your talent, getting into the market is a completely different beast.
I think it's how we look at it. Everything that we get in our results is how it's how we put in whatever it is, the resources that we put in, right? It's the environment is how we think. Obviously, where you are, where you grow up, influences what you become, but mostly I think it's how we think. If we can change the way we think about things. I mean, if a person is applying for a job and they go with the mindset of, oh, I'm just doing it because I have to look for a job. Do you think that's a positive?
Yeah.
You know, or I need the money. I feel like you don't go in with that oomph or that energy that's positive towards making sure that you get those outcomes that you want. So it's how we look at things. And if we can start changing that, it changes the outcomes that we get, because everything that we have in our reality is informed by the information that we put into either our thoughts or the activities that we dedicate ourselves to. So, and the environment, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of events that we can go to and empower ourselves. We need to move ourselves. We need to realize that if I'm in one area, I'm not going to get different results. So if I need to change the results, I need to do something different.
Yeah.
And I feel in South Africa, we do have a lot of opportunities. I think you have spoken maybe to a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, or entrepreneurs that are making it. How are they making it?
Yes.
They had a different mindset towards business. But if you are in one environment, you're not going to get different outcomes. So it's how we look at it. If we can start working towards changing the mindset and read, because we don't read a lot as the Black society, and our minds become stale. We need to read so that our minds are, fine-tuned, and we can see things in a different way. You can even come up with a different, concept that has never been done and started a different kind of business. But if you're not flexing your mind, which is a muscle, you're not going to get out of the situation that you're in.
Now, you've coached a number of young people,
yes,
and trying to get them to unlock whatever it is that they want to unlock and develop. What are some of their biggest frustrations when you work with them? What is that common thread that you are trying to kind of break through based on your engagements?
That they don't have money to start a business.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if I were an investor and I give you R1 million, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
If you're starting out. So they don't realize that you first have to build the concept. You have to build the business first.
So you don't need the money first.
No. They think that you have to have the money. Majority of my clientele, when I ask them, where are you stuck? I don't have the money to start a business.
Yeah.
I want to get funding. But when you go look for funding, they want compliance, and they don't have the proper documentation. So, but we were not taught this because our education system does not equip us for the world of business. So who would have taught us that you need to first have the proper documentation before you can want to look for funding? Who's teaching us all of that? Who's teaching us the mindset to stay and, to start and stay in business? Because a lot of young people start businesses, and within 5 years, actually, the stats tell us that within 5 years, they fail. And others quit because we don't have the necessary tools. We are not trained to do business. That is why I'm doing what I'm doing, to help them know what mindset you need to get into business so that you stay in business.
Yeah. Are there enough initiatives at an educational level to change the curriculum that is offered to young people at a secondary or tertiary level?
I want to support the education system. I mean, I learned a lot from my education. My education has contributed a lot towards what I have. So I'm grateful for that. But I don't believe that the education system equips us for business. I mean, we do have modules in business management.
Yes.
But it's just a module that highlights what business is about.
Surface level.
It's on a surface level. It doesn't train you for the real world of business. So no, the education system doesn't have that. I'm designing master classes for young people from primary to high school to help them at least find your talent and then know what you can do with it. Because another issue is we have employed people that are not motivated to do their work. It's because they're not living their truest purpose. They're just doing a job. Like I was doing engineering because I started it. And I was getting frustrated because I'm not inspired to do that. It's not something that I like to do. So if young people can at least find what it is that they're good at doing and then align that to a career path, I feel young people can get into employment and be inspired to even wake up and go to work.
We need more optimists like you, really, we do. Thank you so much for your time in studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
That is Mpho Mohapi. She is a business mindset coach, saying all you need to know is know what you're passionate about and the rest will follow.